Hello kids, welcome to Learner's Planet. Kids, in the previous session, we have learned to write the numbers from 1 to 100 in Roman numerals. We have already discussed the rules, how to write the Hindu Arabic numbers into Roman numerals, and we have done some practice examples also. In this session, we will be continuing with some bigger numbers, but I would recommend you just to revise the previous session before coming to this session. You should be clear with all the rules of Roman numerals. Okay, so now let's begin this session. We will be taking some random numbers in this session and we'll try to write. But what my suggestion is, you should write the numbers on your own, then you should match your solution with mine. Okay, so let's begin the session. Okay, let's take the first number. That is 123. Okay, now first of all, let's have a breakup of 123. It's 100 plus, since we don't have the direct symbol for 20, we'll break it up in 10 and 10. Then similarly, we don't have any symbol for 3, so we will write 1 for 3 times. Okay. Now let's start writing what 100 is. 100 is C. What 10 is, it's X. Further it is X, and 1 is I, and further I, and one more I. So it's 100 plus 10, that is 110, 120, 121, 122 and 123. Quite simple. Let's take other example. Suppose I wish to write 157. Okay, first of all, let's give the breakup. It's 100. Then we have the symbol for 50. So I just write 50 over here. Then 7. How do I write 7? It's 5 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, now just start putting the symbols. For 100 we will put C. For 50 we will put L. For 5 we will put V, and then 1 and 1, that is I. Okay, so it's 100 plus 50 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1, that is CLVII, that is 157. Now we try to write 179. Now it's 100 plus 50 plus 29, but 29 has to be broken up into 10 plus 10 plus 9. Okay, now we do not have any symbol to represent 9, so how 9 will be represented? It is 10 minus 1. And how do I write 10 minus 1? If I write I before X, it will be 9. Okay, so let's put the value over here. 100 is C, 50 is L, 10 is X, then it's X, then it is X, and 9 is IX. Okay, so it's C, L, X, X, I, X. Okay, now let's write 186. So it's further 100 plus 50, that is 150. It's 160, 170, 180, then 85, and then 86. Okay, so 100 is C, then L, then X, 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 V, and I. Okay, quite simple. Now let's write 190. Now how do I write 190? It's 100 plus 50 plus 40, but we cannot write 40 because if I write X for 4 times, that is not recommended or not applicable. So I need to have alternative methods. What I do is, I will write 100 plus 90. Okay, now how do I write 90? If I write X before C, what will it represent? It will represent 100 minus 10, that is 90. Okay, So the same value of 90 or same symbolic representation of 90 I'll put over here. Now what 100 is? It's C, and what 90 is? It's XC. Okay. Similarly, if I wish to write 193, so it's 100 plus 90 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So it's C, then X, C, then I. Okay. And let's write 199. So it's 100 plus 90 plus, we cannot write 5 plus 4 because we cannot write I for 4 times. So what I will do is I will write 10 minus 1. Okay. Now 100 is C, 90 is X, C, and for 10 minus 1 I have to write I before X. So it's I, X. Okay. So whenever there is a negative sign, you just represent this symbol before this symbol. So clear? Now let's write 237. Now it's 100 plus 100, that is 200, plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, that is 230, then 35 plus 36 plus 37. Now just put the symbols over here. It's C, C, X, 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 5 is V, and then I and I. Okay. Now let's write 249. So it's 100 plus 100. Further, I cannot write X for 4 times. So I need to have an alternative method. So what I will do is I will write 40 plus 9. Okay. Now how do I write 40? That is 50 minus 10. So it's 100 plus 100 plus 50 minus 10. And how do I write 9? It is 10 minus 1. Okay, you just put a underline over here. So you'll be clear that you have to represent that 50 minus 1 in symbols. Okay, now it's 100 is C, this 100 is C. 50 minus 10, that is I have to write X before L. X before L. Okay. And what 10 minus 1? I have to write I before X. Okay, so it's C, C, X, L, I, X. Okay. Now let's write 278. Okay, now further it's 100 plus 100, then I can take 50 also. So it's 250, then 260, then 270, then 75, 76, 77, and 78. Okay, now 100 is C, further C, 50 is L, 10, 10, 5, 1, 1, 1. Quite simple. Now let's write the next number, maybe 289. Okay. So it is 100 plus 100 plus 50 plus 60, 70, 80, 90 minus 1. Okay, and this is a single representation. So 100 is C, this is C, this is L, this is X, further X, further X, and 10 minus 1 is I before X. Okay, so it's C, C, L, X, 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 I, X. Okay, just don't forget to put this underline. So you will be clear that you have to represent this number like this. Okay. Now let's write 293. Further, it's 100 plus 100 plus, we cannot write 50 plus 40 since x cannot be written for 4 times. So what we will do is we will write 100 minus 10. That is a representation of 90. So I have put a underline over here. Okay, so it's 100 minus 10, that is 100 plus 100 plus 90, that is 290. Then 1, 2 and 3. Okay, now 100 is C, this 100 is C. 100 minus 10, that means I have to put X before C. Okay, then it's I. Okay, now let's write 299. So it is 100 plus 100 plus 90, that I will represent like this. It's 90. Then how do I represent 9? That is 10 minus 1. Okay, don't forget to put the underline. Now 100 is C, then C. 100 minus 10, I will write X before C. And for 10 minus 1, I will write I before X. Okay, so it's 299. Kids, and now let's take some numbers between 300 to 400. Let's write 331. Now it is 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 and plus 1. Now just put the symbols. It's C, 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 X, X, X and I. Quite easy. Now let's try to write 359. Now what? It's 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 50. And how do we write 9? It's 10 minus 1. Just put underline over there. Now 100 is what? C. Further C. C. What 50 is? It's L. And if I have to write 10 minus 1, what I'll do is I'll put I before X. So it I, X. So this is what? 359. Clear? Now let's write 396. Further, it's 100 plus 100 plus 100, that is 300. Now how do we write 90? It's 100 minus 10. Just put an underline over here. Plus 5 plus 1, that is 6. Now it's C, C, C. 100 minus 10 will be X, C, then 5 is V and then I. Kids, now let's write some numbers between 400 to 500. First of all, let's write 400. Now for 400, it is 4 times 100, but we cannot write C for 4 times consecutively. Okay, so we need to have an alternative method. So what we can do is, if we can deduct 100 from 500, we will be getting 400. Now how do we do that? Is 500 minus 100. If I write C before D like this, so it will be 500 minus 100, that is 400. So CD represents 400. Okay, now suppose I write 423. So it's 400 plus 10 plus 10 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Now what 400 is? It is CD, then X, X, I. Clear? The remaining symbols can be used as we are using earlier. The only difference over here is the representation of 400 that we have done like this. That is 500 minus 100. Clear? Now let's write 446. Now it is 400 plus 46. We start like this. Then 400 can be written as 500 minus 100. I put an underline over here. Then it can be written as 40 plus 5 plus 1. Now 40 can be written as 50 minus 10. Put an underline over here. Then it's 5, then 1. Now 500 minus 100. That means if I put C before D. Okay, so it's C, D. Then 50 minus 10. If I put X before L, I'll be getting 40. So it's X, L, then 5 is V and 1 is I. So 446 is C, D, X, L, V, I. Okay. Now let's write 497. Further, it is 400 plus 90 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1. Now the similar method we will use to write 400, that is 500 minus 100. Put an underline over here. Now how do we write 90? It is 100 minus 10, then 5 is as it is, then 1, then 1. Now 500 minus 100 is C, D. If I have to deduct 10 from 100, I have to write X before C. So it is X, C, then for 5 we will use V, then I, then I. Isn't it quite simple? Just have to practice. Okay. Now let's write some numbers between 600 to 1000. Okay. Now what 600 is? It's 500 plus 100. So what 500 is? It's D, and what 100 is? It is C. Now suppose I have to write 700. What do I do? It's 500 plus 100 plus 100. So it is D, C, C. Suppose I have to write 800, then it is 500 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100. So it is D, C, C, C. Now further, there's a twist. How do we write 900? We cannot use C for 4 times consecutively. So what we can do is, we can deduct 100 from 1000. So 1000 minus 100. Now how do we do that? If I write the C before M, we will be getting 900. Okay. So it's C before M. Okay. So CM is 900. Okay. And the remaining numbers you can write as we are writing so far. Suppose I wish to write 696. So it's 500 plus 100 plus 90 can be written as 100 minus 10. Put an underline over here. Then plus 5 plus 1. Okay. So 500 is D, 100 is C, 100 minus 10, that means I have to write X before C. So it's X, C, then 5 is B, and then I. Okay. The method is very simple. You just break the number like this and put an underline where you have to find out the difference between the numbers. Okay. Then just put the symbol. It's quite easy. Suppose I wish to write 786. Okay. So it's 500 plus 100, that is 600, then 700, then 750, then 60, 70, 80, 85, and 86. Now just put the symbols. It's D, C, C, L, X, 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 V, I. Okay. Now let's write 894. Now how do we do that? It's 500, 600, 700, 800. Then how do we write 90? It is 100 minus 10. Just put an underline over here. Then 4 is 5 minus 1. Okay, don't forget to put this underline over there. Now 500 is what? It's D, then C, C, C. Okay, now 100 minus 10, how do we write that? If I write this X before C, it will represent 90. Okay, so it's X, C. Now how do we write 5 minus 1? It's I before V. Okay, so this is the representation of 894. Okay, similarly, let's take 976. Okay, so how do we write 900? First of all, let's break it. It's 900 plus 50 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5 minus 1. Now how do we write 900? It is 1000 minus 10. I'm sorry, it's 100. Okay, so 1000 minus 100, that is C before M. Okay, so it's C, M. What 50 is? It's L, then it's X, X, and this, I'm sorry, it's 6, so it's 5 plus 1. So it's V and I. Okay,